and welcome back to my channel. So as you will see from the title, today I'm going to take you through step by step how I made my tandoori chicken and sweet potato and onion bhaji burgers. These were absolutely amazing. We served them in flatbreads with some dry fried halloumi and some mango chutney, a little bit of lettuce, a real hearty, meaty, sink your teeth into burger. This burger was inspired by a recipe I found on a website called Two Chubby Cubs. Yes, that's really hard to say. I will leave that linked in the description box. It's kind of loosely based on, because I believe they use a whole chicken breast. I'm going to use chicken thighs and blitz them, and they also don't use sweet potato for their bhaji, and they use different ingredients. So yeah, it's not really the same at all, but I will leave them down below if you want to go and check out their website anyway. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So to start off with, and to make our chicken burgers, I used 5 skinless and boneless chicken thighs, and that made 4 decent sized burgers. So for seasonings, I used a tablespoon of coriander, a tablespoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 tablespoons of tandoori seasoning powder, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of fenugreek and some lime juice. And then I popped everything together in my chopper along with the chicken thighs. These are such a good invention. I talk about it all the time, but it just makes life so much easier. If you don't have one of these, obviously you can chop your chicken thighs by hand and then mix them with your marinade. But I popped everything together into my chopper, all the seasonings, which I will make sure that I type out in the description box just in case you've missed it and you want to copy them down. So I popped everything together and my chicken thighs as well, gave it a blitz. I mean, doing it this way, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute. If you were chopping it by hand, it takes a lot longer. Once I'd done that, I just roughly formed my chicken thighs into balls. At this point, you don't want to squash them down too much, because the more air pockets you leave in the meat, the more they'll fill up with steam and create a much more moist burger. So to make my sweet potato and onion bhajis, I decided to use my spiralizer. If you don't have a spiralizer, you can just grate the potato. Obviously this is a little bit quicker. So I just peeled them, and then at the end I chopped them up with some scissors just so that they weren't too stringy. So I was making a really big batch of onion bhajis, but ideally you want a little bit more onion than you do sweet potato. So if you're going to use 1 large sweet potato, I suggest you use 3 large onions. If you want to use 2 large sweet potatoes, I'd use 6 large onions. These do freeze really well, so you could make a bigger batch and then pop them in the freezer for another day, and then you haven't got all the prep next time. So once we've got our onion and sweet potato all prepared, we're going to add our seasonings. So I've added 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of ground coriander, a tablespoon of garam masala, 1 tablespoon of garlic granules, and then I seasoned with some salt and pepper. Give this a good mix and make sure your sweet potato and your onions are completely coated. And then I've added in 4 eggs and whisked everything together. This is what's going to hold your sweet potato and onion together. And we're going to pop these in the air fryer. If you haven't got an air fryer, you can do these in the oven. So now you're going to form these into loosely shaped bhajis, and at this point the mixture will be quite wet and it won't seem to stick together. So as long as you kind of pat it down either with a spoon or your hand, and you make sure you sprayed the bottom of your tray or your air fryer, then they will stick together once they start cooking. Although if you pick them up now, they will just fall apart, so that's completely normal. Don't worry if that happens to you. It will all be okay once they start to cook. So I'm going to do mine on 180 degrees for between 12 and 15 minutes until they come out looking lovely and golden brown around the edges and soft in the middle. So I just pop my burgers on the grill and close the lid. But if you're going to do these in a frying pan, obviously you want to flip them over halfway through cooking. I'd say they'll probably take 5 to 7 minutes each side, depending on how thick you've made them. Just make sure that the juices run clear and there's no pink meat left in the middle after you finish cooking. So with my halloumi, I just lightly sprayed a pan with a little bit of spray oil, got it nice and hot, and then popped my halloumi slices in. This takes a few minutes on each side until they go nice and golden brown, and then it's time for assembly. So I've got these deli kitchen Greek flatbreads, and I've just popped them in the microwave for about a minute so they go nice and soft and pliable. Then I'm going to top them with a little bit of mango chutney to give that authentic flavour. We've got some romaine heart lettuce, so I've chopped some of that and popped it on the top. And then you're just going to assemble your burger, top it with an onion bhaji, top it with some halloumi, and then fold it over. And I just used a skewer to secure these because otherwise they pop back open. These were a massive hit. They were absolutely delicious. These are extremely filling. There's no way you could eat 2 of them. I think one on its own is a meal in itself, but I would definitely be making these again, and they're so simple to do. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure to let me know if you're going to try this, or if you are over on Instagram, make sure to tag me in any pictures and things. I love seeing what you make. If you like food content, then make sure to go and subscribe if you're not already. I do 3 videos a week, and it's mostly centered around food hauls and foodie content, recipes, cook with me's, meals of the week, all that kind of thing. That's next door's dog. Dogs, should I say. They'll stop. Okay, they've stopped. The joys of filming in the conservatory. I thought it's a nice day, I've got the washing out, why don't you film out in the conservatory? Yeah, anyway, so I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everyone is doing okay, and I'll be back really soon with another one. Take care, guys.